Hi everyone, this is Game 1 of the 2020 Kisei title match between Fujii 7 Dan and Watanabe Kisei. In his title match debut, can Fujii rise to the occasion and meet the expectation of the shogi world? With history watching, Fujii makes his first move. Pawn to 7-6, pawn to 8-4, silver to 6-8, pawn to 3-4, silver to 7-7. For such a consequential game of his career, Fujii chooses the Yagura opening strategy. This can be said to be a very deliberate choice. Not only is Yagura a highly esteemed strategy, but his opponent, Watanabe, has twice as much professional experience playing Yagura than with any other opening strategy. It's as if Fujii is saying, I will play the Yagura opening because my opponent in this match is the Kisei Watanabe. Silver to 6-2, pawn to 2-6, silver to 4-2. With this silver, Watanabe prepares to defend the second file with silver to 3-3. As a result, he declines the alternative of a rapid attack strategy beginning with pawn to 7-4. Pawn to 2-5, silver to 3-3. On the flow of this game, one question remains. Will it be classical Yagura, or will it be one of the rapid attack variants like Yonenaga Yagura? Neither player declares the strategy right away. Instead, they both proceed with moves that are compatible with classical and rapid attack strategies. Silver to 4-8, gold to 3-2, pawn to 3-6, pawn to 5-4, gold to 5-8, king to 4-1, gold to 7-8, gold to 5-2, king to 6-9, pawn to 7-4, pawn to 5-6, pawn to 8-5. The game arrives at a symmetrical position, and now Fujii must finally declare his strategy. For example, if he plays pawn to 4-6, then after pawn to 4-4, knight to 3-7, gold to 4-3, silver to 4-7, he could proceed into a Fujimori Yagura, where he might attack with pawn to 5-5 and pawn to 4-5, while Watanabe could counterattack with pawn to 7-5 and pawn to 8-6. In this game, Fujii goes the other way. He plays pawn to 6-6, and the meaning of this move is to build a classical Yagura formation. Now it's Watanabe's turn to choose. With pawn to 6-4, gold to 6-7, knight to 7-3, he would enter a formation known as Yonenaga Yagura, which is a rapid attack formation for Gote. On the other hand, this seems like a relatively older system. I don't know if it might have fallen out of favor compared to other modern strategies. Nevertheless, Watanabe plays bishop at 3-1, and this game becomes classical Yagura, the so-called pure literature of shogi. There appears to be a misconception that this designation refers to the cultural and aesthetic prestige of the Yagura strategy. From my understanding, the original meaning of this phrase was to underline the positional nuances in this opening. It's supposed to convey that the constant analysis of action and reaction in Yagura resembles the meticulous reading that one requires to understand and appreciate classical literature. The game proceeds with bishop to 7-9, pawn to 4-4, silver to 3-7, bishop to 6-4. Watanabe opens a path for his king, and at the same time, his bishop arrives at a good position to suppress Fujii's attack. After gold to 6-7, gold to 4-3, bishop to 4-6, silver to 7-3, the position becomes symmetrical once again as both players enter their kings into their Yagura castles. King to 7-9, king to 3-1, king to 8-8, king to 2-2, pawn to 9-6, pawn to 1-4, pawn to 1-6, pawn to 9-4. This position is a starting point of a highly complex and deeply researched joseki known as the Waki System. Fujii goes ahead with bishop takes 6-4. And at a glance it appears that Watanabe could gain one move by recapturing with either the silver or the pawn. One main line of the joseki proceeds with silver takes, silver to 2-6, an edge attack with a climbing silver. Bishop drops 6-9. Although making a horse is the most obvious meaning, the bishop can also rip off the base of the Yagura in some variations. Pawn to 1-5, pawn takes, and in this position one option would be lance takes, pawn drop 1-4, lance takes, pawn drop 1-5. And now the joseki branches again with pawn to 7-5 or bishop takes 4-7 promotes. Another option would be silver takes, and after lance takes, bishop takes 4-7 promotes, pawn drop 1-3, knight takes, bishop drop 4-1. I have no idea which side is good here, but it seems like both players would have a fighting chance. In this game, Watanabe instead plays pawn takes, which is a newer joseki move. Fujii goes for climbing silver with silver to 2-6. And if Watanabe goes for the same plan with silver 8-4, then Fujii could make a horse with bishop drop 6-3. It's an example of how a one-move gain can be a disadvantage in the Waki system. The true meaning of recapturing with a pawn is to use it as an attacking piece, so Watanabe goes ahead with pawn to 6-5, pawn takes, pawn to 7-5, pawn takes, bishop drop 3-9, rook to 3-8, bishop takes 7-5 promotes. As a result, he sacrifices a pawn but makes a horse in return. If Fujii tries to do something about this horse, then after gold to 6-6, horse to 4-2, the horse becomes valuable in defense. Even after pawn 1-5, pawn takes, silver takes, pawn drop 1-3, it would be difficult for Fujii to continue his attack against the thickness around Watanabe's king. So in the game, Fujii ignores the horse and immediately attacks with pawn 1-5. Some professional commentators thought that Watanabe might take the pawn, but after silver takes, Fujii's edge attack seems to be effective. For example, if Watanabe defends with pawn drop 1-3, then after pawn to 2-4, pawn takes, pawn drop 2-5, pawn takes, pawn drop 2-4, Fujii would get a very uncomfortable foothold at the head of Watanabe's king. On the other hand, it would be too much to try cutting off the entire attack with lance takes, pawn drop 1-4, lance takes, pawn drop 1-3. After lance takes promotes, king takes, lance drop 7-6, a fork with bishop drop 4-6 would be very powerful. And so Watanabe plays horse takes 6-5, and after pawn takes 1-4, it would be an admission of failure to defend the edge with pawn drop 1-2. Fujii could drop a pawn to 6-6, and Watanabe's plan would become meaningless. So Watanabe goes ahead with pawn to 8-6. If Fujii captures this pawn with his silver, then Watanabe could make a big foothold with pawn drop 6-6, and his attack would continue after gold to 5-7, pawn to 5-5, pawn takes, pawn to 6-7 promotes, gold takes, horse takes 5-5. With this fork, Watanabe would gain the upper hand. So Fujii's only option is pawn takes, but even here Watanabe plays pawn drop 6-6. And if Fujii takes it, then after horse takes, gold takes, rook takes 8-6, king to 7-7, rook takes 8-9 promotes, Watanabe's attack would succeed. In the game, Fujii plays gold to 5-7. As a consequence of the unfavorable situation on his edge, Watanabe's only option is to keep attacking. But because his right silver is not yet participating, he can attack only with his rook and his horse. For example, after silver to 7-4, Fujii could break through the edge with pawn to 1-3 promotes. In order to connect his thin attack, Watanabe's plan might be to make good use of his foothold on 6-6 and to target the floating pieces in Fujii's camp. He continues with pawn drop 8-5, pawn takes, and silver to 7-4 will once again be too slow because Fujii could eliminate Watanabe's foothold, so Watanabe plays horse to 6-4. In this position, Fujii finds an outstanding defensive move, bishop drop 3-7. At a glance it appears that Fujii would like to exchange Watanabe's horse, but I think both players realize that this is not the case. If Fujii wants to do that, maybe he would have dropped bishop to 4-6. Now Watanabe ignores it and activates his knight to 9-3. Fujii responds with silver takes 6-6. And this is the good point of having dropped the bishop to 3-7. If Watanabe plays knight takes 8-5, then Fujii could defend with pawn drop 8-6, and after horse takes 3-7, knight takes, he would win Watanabe's knight. If Fujii had dropped his bishop to 4-6, then Watanabe could connect his attack with bishop drop 5-9. So in the game, Watanabe settles for pawn to 5-5. And one idea in this position would be to insist on a bishop exchange, first with pawn drop 6-5, horse to 5-4, bishop takes 5-5. and after horse takes, pawn takes, knight takes a5, pawn drop a7, although Watanabe's attack would continue, it might not be easy to break through due to Fujii's control over the center. To be honest, I'm not sure which side would be good in this position. But in the game, Fujii plays silver takes 5-5, horse to 6-3, silver to 6-6. With this, he continues suppressing Watanabe's attack with the power of his bishop. Watanabe plays the natural rook to 8-1, preparing to activate his silver, and Fujii now hardens his castle with gold to 6-7, and after silver to 7-4, the game arrives at a critical position in the middle game where Fujii appears to have many possible candidate moves. First, let's consider the direct edge attack with pawn to 1-3 promotes. After knight takes and pawn drop 1-4, it would be a good result for Fujii to gain a knight. So Watanabe might play lance takes promotes, king takes, lance drop 1-9, king to 2-2, and now pawn drop 1-3 to me seems like the most natural follow-up. If Watanabe counters immediately with lance drop 8-6, then Fujii might be alright after king to 7-7. So how about pawn drop 1-1? And after rook to 1-8, it seems that lance drop 8-6 still wouldn't be good enough after king to 7-9. But maybe it's possible to make an early escape with king to 3-1, and after pawn to 1-2 promotes, pawn takes, rook takes promotes, lance drop 8-6, king to 7-9, Watanabe could drop the pawn to 8-8, and I don't know, maybe make a good attack against Fujii's king. Another forcing variation would be pawn drop 7-5. On one hand, after silver takes 8-5, pawn drop 8-7, Watanabe's pawn shortage makes it difficult for him to continue attacking. For example, pawn drop 8-6, pawn takes, silver takes, pawn drop 8-7, pawn drop 6-5, silver takes 7-5, pawn drop 7-6, and Fujii's defense would be a success. But in this position, Watanabe could forcefully break through with knight takes 8-5. After pawn drop 8-6, pawn drop 6-5 would be a good response, while after pawn takes 7-4, knight to 7-7 promotes, king takes, rook takes 8-9 promotes, pawn to 7-3 promotes, horse takes 3-6, Watanabe's major piece activity would be more than enough for the material deficit. Back to this position. The commentators considered other moves like knight to 7-7 or pawn to 8-4, but Fujii plays yet another move. Pawn drop 7-6. The more I looked at this move, the less I understood it. What is Fujii's plan? I still don't know. If Watanabe plays silver takes 8-5, pawn drop 8-7, it's not easy to see how he could continue his attack, and after pawn drop 1-2, knight to 7-7, it appears that Fujii would be able to suppress Watanabe's attack. In the game, Watanabe tries to make something happen with gold to 5-4. It's a risky move because he's breaking the shape of his own Yagura castle, but after the game, Watanabe said that he couldn't see any other move. Fujii proceeds with bishop to 4-6, gold to 4-5, bishop to 6-8. And after gold takes 3-6, he finally plays the much anticipated pawn to 1-3 promotes. Watanabe's edge is about to collapse. Lance takes promotes, knight takes, pawn drop 1-4, pawn drop 1-2. With no way to save his knight, Watanabe hangs on to the edge. After lance drop 1-9, he could hold on with lance drop 1-1. So Fujii changes direction with pawn drop 6-4, aiming at Watanabe's strongest piece. Because the horse is tied down to defending the 3-6 gold, Watanabe doesn't have many options. He decides to first escape to 4-5, and after knight to 3-7, the horse withdraws to 7-2. Maybe Watanabe thought that it would be his game to provoke this knight jump to 3-7 because it can be later targeted by the 3-6 gold. But it's still Fujii's initiative, and he plays pawn takes 1-3 promotes, pawn takes, rook to 1-8. It seems like a powerful attack on the edge, but maybe it would have been better to settle for lance drop 1-9, because Watanabe has a powerful countermeasure in this position. He blocks Fujii's bishop with pawn drop 5-7, and it's too late now. For example, after knight drop 8-4, rook takes, pawn takes, gold takes 2-6, rook to 1-9, lance drop 1-4, rook to 5-9, gold takes 3-7, Fujii's attack would be a failure. So in the game, Fujii plays bishop takes 5-7. But here comes a move that would come to be known as a kishu, a devil's move. Gold to 4-6. A discovered attack made possible by blocking the coordination of Fujii's rook and bishop. If Fujii plays rook to 1-9, then after gold takes 5-7, silver takes horse to 3-6, Watanabe would achieve an easily acceptable outcome by gaining a bishop and activating his horse. After surviving a difficult opening, the Kisei finds a spectacular Tetsuji to bring himself back into the game. How should Fujii respond to Watanabe's move? I think you might be able to guess the next move of the game, but we'll pause here for today, and next week it's the exciting conclusion to Game 1 of the 2020 Kisei title match. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.